Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where today, after my struggles yesterday with Jay Dyer's monster puzzle, Highway to the Danger Zone, today we've got something much easier apparently, and it's Fog of War Sudoku, which is my favourite of the sort of new Sudoku innovations. So we're going to be trying this puzzle, which is called Lost Toy again. And it's by Sandra and Nala, a very interesting duo. Sandra writes to us after finishing most of our Patreon rewards, always claims that Nala has helped her to solve the puzzles. And Nala, we've featured pictures of Nala before. Let me show you. This is Nala. Nala is a beautiful dog, very erudite dog as well, in case you were wondering, and is the inspiration for this puzzle. So we've got to find Nala's toy in the grid, and then we've got some arrows to help us work it. Now, if you are new to Fog of War Sudoku, or indeed variant Sudoku, because this is a good puzzle to cut your teeth on if you've never tried a variant Sudoku, do not cheat. The way these puzzles work, the Fog of War puzzles, is if you enter digits into the fog, and you get the digit correct, so let's say we entered in the correct digit into this cell, it would clear all of that fog. And that's cheating, unless you can find a good logical reason to know why this digit is what you think it is. You're not supposed to, anyway, you're not supposed to just fill in the numbers in the fog. We get some people who write in saying, I solved this puzzle in 12 seconds by being an extremely fast typist. That is not the idea of any puzzle that's ever appeared on Cracking the Cryptic. So try to deduce logically, and the idea normally is that if you look at the white cells and try and figure out something logical about the white cells, and then you can fill in a digit hopefully, and it'll clear the fog gradually. And that's going to be our task for the day. And I am sure that this is very doable. So I hope that's true. Now let's move on. Some announcements. I have got a few things I want to talk about today. I'm going to wish a very happy birthday. I'm going to start with my great friend Codec, one of the absolute doyens of the Sudoku world. Happy birthday, Codec. Also, another friend of mine, Neil Talbot. Happy birthday, Neil. I mean, those two people I've just mentioned have probably got a combined IQ of close to 400. So, yeah. June the 8th obviously did see the birth of some intelligent people. Next, Zubair up in Preston, Lancashire. Your wife, Sahina, said that you'd appreciate a birthday shout out, and your daughters Aisha and Amina as well, who I think are just starting to get into Sudoku, which is very good to hear. Ryan, a belated happy birthday for a couple of days ago. This one wasn't my fault, but your girlfriend Faith wrote in late and said you'd appreciate a shout out. And also I was late, and this was my fault. Benjamin, you turned 10 yesterday. I'm told by your father Tim that you had chocolate frosted donut cake for your birthday. My goodness me, that sounds absolutely spectacular. And Benjamin, I know you watch the videos sometimes. This is, again, it's brilliant to hear about young people getting in to Sudoku. Now, who else? Jack, your friend Callum wrote to us and said that you enjoyed the show and would like a birthday shout out. And the final birthday shout out is from Richard, who asked if we could wish his dear friend Simon Anthony a happy birthday. He knows he's one of Simon's favourite people because Simon's told him, and he still loves hearing the secret whenever that's imparted to him. Well, Richard, that is extremely kind of you, and Simon will reciprocate by wishing you a happy birthday, because apparently you share a birthday with said Simon Anthony. So, Richard, I hope you have some cake today. Now, next, I'm going to talk a bit about Patreon, where we've got a Patreon reward. This might explain the balloons, by the way, in case you were wondering. We've got our Patreon reward, which is the Planet Suite, a Sudoku hunt made of puzzles about the planets. And we've been delighted with the feedback and delighted with the facts that we've asked you to send in. I'm going to share with you today a RockyRoer fact. RockyRoer, obviously, is a constructor we've featured many times, the American math teacher. And RockyRoer's fact, which made me laugh, was that you'd need to stack 200 million people on top of each other's shoulders in order to touch the moon from the Earth. And the UK doesn't have that many people, but the US does, and that might explain why the US has been to the moon. Really, RockyRoer, I expect better of you, but that did raise a smile. Now, to change tack altogether, though, it's my party, and I'll do what I want to. We had an email yesterday from Peter Venus, who again is another absolutely brilliant friend of the channel, someone I have a lot of affection for. And Peter's been suffering a bit recently, and he asked if I could read out his email. And yes, I can, because it's my birthday and I can do what I want to. So I'm going to read you Peter's email, and I just think it gives us all something to think about, and the messages in it are incredibly important. So Peter says, I would like a shout out because I have a story to tell. 3 years ago, I had a big depression because of the multiple lockdowns. I got the diagnosis of bipolar disorder from a doctor and got help from multiple angles and got out of my depression. And one of the big factors to help me out of it back then was sudoku and the CTC community. In January 2022, I became a father, which is a truly lovely thing, but it has its dark sides as well, especially for people with the diagnosis of bipolar disorder. I was destined to get into my next depression. The sleepless nights, the child illnesses and the stress. Combine this with selling a house and a conflict at work, and there you have a depression and a burnout. 2 big depressions and a burnout right after each other, plus not living a healthy life, also made me gain 15 kilograms. I am obese now as well. On top of that, I was so exhausted I didn't even enjoy my only way out, which was sudoku. I couldn't solve or set any sudoku anymore. My life became completely empty, despite having such a beautiful daughter. In January 2023, I decided to change up everything. I drastically changed my diet, eating healthily, lots of veggies, no more added sugars, no more Coca-Cola, no more snacks. I decided to exercise more. I moved now to my new house. I'm back to full-time working, and I lost 25 kilograms in the past 5 months. I'm also solving and setting a little bit again. I solved this fun Patreon hunt, and I love all the facts about the planets, and I'm also teaming up with Panthera and Aspartacus again for a new hunt. What helped me was talking about it. I know that there are lots of taboos about these matters, but whenever I was vulnerable and open about it with people, people were like, oh yes, I recognize it, I had the same or something similar. So my shout out is to all parents with young children who don't sleep that well. You are not alone, it sucks real hard, and yes, probably it will get better, but you are in this right now, and you have to get through it. Take care. All people with burnouts, you are not alone. It sucks real hard to feel completely empty and energyless. Be careful. Try to prevent a burnout. But if you are already in it, seek help to get you back. And all people with bipolar disorder, you are not alone. It sucks real hard to have a dark depression. But remember, there is always a good period coming after a bad period. And those good periods are really worth living for. And all people with obesity, you are not alone. It sucks real hard when you're addicted to sugar, and it's really difficult to get rid of it, but it is doable. Go for it. It will improve your life significantly, and it is worth it. Wise words there from an absolutely brilliant guy, and I hope you don't mind me sharing it with you. I think Peter's advice to talk about it is incredibly important, and Peter, actually your words reminded me of some lyrics to a song, so I recorded a verse of a song for you, which I'll play at the end of this video. Anyway, with that, why don't we turn our attention to actually puzzle solving, and let's have a look at Lost Toy Again by Sandra and Nala, and I will read you the rules. Nala lost her toy in the fog again. Can you help her find it? Normal Sudoku rules apply. Okay, that's good. Digits along an arrow must sum to the digit in the circle. Elements of the same colour are connected. Right, so I think what that's telling us is that these are both red to my eyes anyway. So somehow this circle is connected to this arrow. And once we've located this arrow, the digits along the arrow will sum to the digit in this circle, which already looks quite interesting to me. Fog of War. The grid is partially covered in fog, and placing correct digits will clear the fog from surrounding cells. Nala will be thrilled about your help. Okay, so that's the final piece of commentary that we needed. Do have a go at this. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. Now I get to play. My fingers are on the keyboard. Let's get cracking. I think I'm going to start with this red arrow, which today is not a fighter plane. So can I use the pen tool actually? Maybe I can. I'm just... yeah, okay. So let's try and work out where this arrow goes. It definitely goes there, and it definitely goes there. So it's already got 3 digits on it. Now, how on earth do we close this arrow up without... I mean, the closest we could do would be that, wouldn't it? Now... in fact, that must be it. So that's the start. Right, let's just think about... so all I'm saying there is how... I've already got 3 cells on the arrow. Now these could be... there could be repeated digits in here, but this is a minimum of 1 plus 2, and this is a minimum of 1. And the next arrow cell after this point is clearly going to be different from this. So if we try and be efficient... we've now got 1, 2 on this arrow and 1, 2 on this arrow. So we've already got a count of 6, but we're still nowhere near connecting these up. So if we took 3 more cells to do it, given that this square is going to be at least a 3 if this is a 1, 2 pair, we've got no more latitude. We've already reached a count of 9. So we actually have to close the loop. I mean, it seems clear to me that's the only possible way that I could draw this arrow and make it work. And that's massive for many reasons. The first reason is this must be a 1, 2, 3 triple. This must be a 1, 2 pair. Now, that's not got us any digits, but that has to be a 9, and that's going to clear the fog in a most sort of underwhelming way. Right, oh, I see. This is a 9 as well. Because look, what's the minimum value of those 2 squares? Well, they've got to be a 4 or 5 minimum. So there can't be any more arrow cells here, or we'll be adding up to a double-digit number. So that's got to be a 9, and that's going to clear beaucoup de fog. Right, so now we've got a 6, 7, 8 triple down the left-hand side. We've got an enormous blue arrow that's forming. Oh, we have got an enormous... oh, goodness. Right. Okay, we've got another 9 here. Okay, this definitely is easier than yesterday's puzzle. Okay, how do I know this is a 9? If you can't see why that's a 9, pause the video and have a think about it. Now, you should be able to work out why. The reason is that this square is at least a 3, because it can't be a 1 or a 2. And those squares add up to at least 6, because these must be at least a 1, 2, 3 triple. 1 plus 2 plus 3 adds up to 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. That's the minimum. So that must be a circle, I think. Yes, this must be a 3. Yes, this must be... oh, well, actually, look, this is a 1, 2, 3 triple, and we have a 1, 2 pair here, and that's still that's worth doing. We've got lots of other little arrows forming in the fog. Okay, 3 here gives me a 3 there. So perhaps a little bit of sudoku. It's outrageous to make me do sudoku so quickly, but sometimes constructors are mean like that, even on my birthday. Oh, there's a possibility of a 3 in the corner. Right, so, okay, now here's something interesting. This is nice. This is cute. Let's look at the purple arrow. So how does that purple arrow go? Now let's imagine for a moment that this is the circle. So these 2 digits, at least, the arrow could be going elsewhere, but these 2 digits at least sum to this digit. Now what's the minimum value of those 2 cells? Well, they can't be 1, 2 or 3. So they'd be at least 4 plus 5, and that would make this a 9, which is impossible. So there's simply no way this can be the arrow tip, which means that this must be the arrow circle. Well, no. Yes, it must be, mustn't it? Because otherwise, if this was just arrow and the circle was somewhere else, these two squares would add up to 9, and once we added that one in, we'd get to 10. So this is definitely a circle. We can probably represent that. Oh, I didn't want to do it like that. I wanted to do it like that. This is great. Now I can draw this. Oh, no, I can't. I thought I might be able to draw a little. I can. There we go. So this square. Oh, look. Oh no, hang on. Now I understand how this arrow works. Right, this can't be 9. So how do we make this a number lower than 9 when this square is at least 4 and this square sees 1, 2, 3, so that's at least 4. Well, that's the only way we're going to do it. Double 4, 8. We've just revealed a whole load of new nonsenses in the top of the grid. We've got a 3-cell arrow there adding up to 8. Which doesn't use a 4, so this is brilliant. I see where this is going. This has got to be 1, 2, 5. There are only 2 ways of making 3 different digits add up to 8 in Sudoku. 1, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 5. And what's that going to put in the corner? That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Okay, so what's that digit now? My phone is buzzing. It has been buzzing a bit today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, it's 6, isn't it? Because otherwise this arrow will be a double-digit number. So we've got the 9s are proving incredibly helpful. These two squares are now a 7 or an 8, which means this square is now a 3 or a 4. And it's not a 3, so it is a 4. That's going to clear more fog. Therefore, this is 8. This is 7. And we're off to a little bit of a start here, aren't we? We've basically done the top half of the grid. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5, 6, 7 here. I will do a little bit of Sudoku. Can we just... Does this finish now, the top of the grid? That's not 6. That is 6. It sees both 7 and 8. So that must be 6 by Sudoku. That's 5. That's 7. That's 7. That's 8. That's 4. That's 4. That's 5. Yeah, this is going... We're going gangbusters here, aren't we? We are indeed cooking with gas. Now, what should we do now? That cell is interesting. Yeah, this is where we look now. This is a great puzzle if you've never done either Fog of War or even variant Sudoku before, because it's very approachable, but in a nice way. It's got cleverness about it. Okay, now you can see that this is a 3-cell arrow, but it can't add up to 8 or 9, so it must add up to 6 or 7. Now what's the way that this would add up to 7? There's only one way, and that's a 1, 2, 4 triple. Well, that's not going to work, so it must be a 1, 2, 3 triple, and that must be a 6, which isn't close enough to the fog to clear anything. Bobbins. Okay, so we go 5, 7 and 8. 5 here by Sudoku. 8 here, 7 here. We got a little bit more done there. And we've effectively done the top 4 rows of the grid. Okay. Now, what do we do next? That's the question. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 5, 7 and 9 to place in this box. I'm going to go full pencil mark on this, just in case this sheds any light on proceedings. No, that doesn't seem to have shed any light on proceedings, does it? Okay. How do we do this then? Is it... I mean, what we might have to think about here is pencil marking. Well, actually, no, that could be low, couldn't it? I might have to think about actually pencil marking more diligently than I would ordinarily tend to. This if that's a 5, it couldn't be a circle, I don't think, because these two digits would be summing to 5, and they. Oh no, hang on. No, that's right. It couldn't be 4, 1, or 2, 3. So if this is a 5, this is going. Well, that or the circle would have to be down here. Let me just mull this over a second or two. I've suddenly hit an absolute brick wall here. I've had a different thought. Now, hang on a moment. If that was... Yeah, here is something really interesting. Okay, so I want to focus on this domino. And the reason this has caught my attention is I've got 4, 5 and 3 looking at it, which was, well, the reason I was thinking about that was the 5 here. But now I've realised something. Is it possible that this domino doesn't have a 1 or a 2 on it? Now, if it didn't have a 1 or a 2 on it, what would it be made up of? I think by sudoku, actually, we'd exactly know it would be. It wouldn't be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and it wouldn't be 7 or 8, so it would be a 6, 9 pair. And I don't think there is. I don't think there's any way that this could be made into a valid arrow. I'm just going to stop there and think about that for a moment, but it doesn't seem to me that. I mean, that could be 9, 6, but that would need to be 3. Or the digits are just all too big. Now, that might not help, but it does do something quite interesting, because it means that one of these digits is low. And that's going to lead to a 1, 2, 3 triple in this box. And that, this is beautiful, actually. That's really lovely. Right, it's much harder than the rest of the puzzle. But now this square is a 9. And we know that because we know that 2 of these cells, this one, and whatever's in the fog here that's not the circle, are contributing to the arrow total on this arrow. Wherever this arrow goes, there must be 2 digits on it that live in box 5 that are not capable of being 1, 2, and 3. So they must be 4 and 5, and they must sum to 9. And this can't therefore be the circle. So that has to be the circle, because the arrow can't go any further. This has to be a 4, 5 pair. The 9 places a digit here, look. Oh, lovely. I like the colour of that. Okay, so now look what's going on. Can we do better? Can we do better than we were doing before with... Well, okay, because this is the circle, we've already thought about whether this could be 5, and it can't be. That's going to be 7. Which means this is either 1, 6 or 2, 5. Well, it's not 2, 5, so this is 1, 6. And that looks rather good, doesn't it? Because now we've got 2, 3, and 9 at the bottom of column 6. And this is 5. That's going to clear some fog. Oh, we've got a spider. There's a spider that's made its way into the grid in the bottom right. We've got a sort of arrow here that's doing something. How can I... Oh, the 5 here. I was just wondering about the 5 and the 4. So 5 here, 4 here. That clears more fog. I'd love to know... Oh, 1, 6 gives me a 2. That gives me a 1, 1, 2. So this is an 8 by the power of sudoku. So 8 lives in one of 2 cells in box 4. Okay, has that... Right, so that's revealing some things, isn't it, about the bottom of column 4, where we've got to place 5, 6, and 7. And one of those is in a circle. Okay, if that was... Yeah, if that was 5, you couldn't make this arrow add up to 5. You can't really see this arrow yet, but you can see it. You can see how it's going to go. It's going to go like that. So if this was 5, in fact it's not 6 either, this would either have to be 1, 4 or 2, 3 to be 5. If this is 6, it needs to be 1, 5 or 2, 4. So the 1 and the 2 here, yeah, alright, the simpler way to see it is that if this can't have 1 or 2 on it, the minimum value of it is 3 plus 4, which gives us a 7. That's going to clear more fog. In this column we've not put 6, 7 or 8. Let's just pencil mark it and hope that we can resolve something there, which we might not be able to do. This square is a 5 or a 6 and it's being added to this digit, so this is going to have to be the tip of the arrow, and in fact it's going to have to be a 1, isn't it? That's going to have to be 1, 6, 5. These squares are 4 and 8, which apparently we don't know the order of. That's not 6 anymore. Oh dear, okay, so that's still not quite done, is it? How do we finish this off? What about... Oh, right, okay, let's have a think about the spider. So, is it possible that there's a circle here or a circle here? Well, no, because that's going to mean, let's switch to this again. I haven't got brown available as a colour, but I'll go over it in red. Imagine that's a circle, and then the arrow sort of goes like that, if you can imagine that, and then goes down into this box. Well, then I'm adding 1, 2, 3, 4 different digits to make this circle, and the triangular number for 4 is 10, so that's not going to work. So I think what that's telling us, the same logic is obviously symmetrically true if we make that the circle, is this is the circle. Right, and that's interesting because I now know this digit is an 8. And this is another it's a little trick, isn't it, regarding maths, frankly. Because these 4 digits, which are the smallest arrow length we could accommodate, if these arrows end immediately in these 2 cells, we know those 4 digits are all different. So we know their minimum sum is 1, 2, 3 and 4, which is 10. But each arrow is... So this circle would have to be at a minimum 10 divided by 2. Because if we had, for example, 1, 4 here and 2, 3 here, the minimum value of this is 5. Well, it's not 5, it's not 6, 7, it's not 9. So I think that's an 8. Pregnant pause. Oh, I found the ball. There. The lost toy is a ball. It's in the corner. I probably should get a song, but there's going to be a Peter Venus song in a minute. So what's going on here then? Okay, this is 1, 7, because it can't be 2, 6 or 3, 5, and we know the order, so we get this one done. 1, 7. This one is, I don't know. This is 2, 6 or 3, 5. I feel like, well, that's not 5, is it? So that's not 3. I don't know if the ball has any special significance in terms of the digits we're allowed to put into it, but I'll gloss over that for a moment. Right, so we get to know the corner digit, I suppose. That's a 4. So the ball is a 4. We get a 7 here. This is clearing some more fog. 6, 8 there. 6 is doing the 6 and the 1. That does the 1 and the 3. I see. The 3 here then tells me that this is not 3, 5. So this is 2, 6. That's putting a 2 up on that arrow, which makes all of this clear. We get all of that done. We've not put a something in this column. 9. We've not put 5 and 3 into this column, so we can put that in as pencil marks. This is not 9 anymore. And can we do a bit better? Yes, we can keep going. 4 and 3. 3 and 5. 2 goes in there, look. So this is a 3, 9 pair, which is also available to be fixed. The 2 and the 6 don't seem to... They're being recalcitrant. Okay, but never mind. What about these 2 squares? They are a 1, 5 pair. So we get a 1 in the corner, I think. Oh, and we reveal something. So there is a 1, 2, there's a 3-cell green line. So the minimum these... Oh, this is 2, 3, 4, because this is a 1 in the corner. So this must be 9. This is 2, 3, 4. Can we just fill it in? Yes, the 4 goes at the top. The 3 goes here, the 2 goes here. So this is 6 and 8, which is now resolved. That finishes the 6 and the 2. And now we've got 2 and 7 here, which are just filled in. Beautiful. Is that right? Yes. That is very, very nice indeed. I really, really admire constructors who can make puzzles that are not difficult but retain that element of interest. It's quite easy to make an easy puzzle that's boring, but it's really skillful to make an easy puzzle that's interesting. And that, I think, is what Sandra and Nala have done. And they have given me a treat on my birthday, for which I thank them heartily. I hope you had a go. Let me know in the comments. Enjoy the musical outro. Sorry about the singing. And yeah, I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. We'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic. Going down to the Greyhound station for a ticket to ride. Gonna find that lady with 2 or 3 kids and sit down by her side. Right till the sun comes up and down, round 2 or 3 times. Smoking cigarettes in the last seat, trying to hide my sorrow from the people I meet and get along with it all. Why the people say, oh,